Hey Legionnaires, and welcome back. We're with some more Rise of Mordor for you today, and there you go. We are starting this video off with a bang as some white hand sappers blow a breach in the wall. And yes, this is a glorious 2v2 scenario, not scenario at all, just a Rise of Mordor battle. And how did these guys survive? I've just realized they've just been blown up. They have a bomb on their back. They should be dead. But we've got some white hand sappers surviving, going in some grim hammers here with silver chevrons, some very elite silver chevrons there. And but yes, this is a Rise of Mordor 2v2. We have Dale and Erebor defending together against Moria and Isengard. And as you saw there, Isengard just blowing a hole in the wall. Now the Uruks of Isengard can just breach through this hole, and they can start to massacre those within the city. But yes, if you're enjoying seeing Rise of Mordor on the channel at the moment, I would love to see some more Middle-earth action as the Dwarves are celebrating their victory here. Do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're around here, and a comment to show your support. As always, guys, thank you for all the support with these videos, and keep it up is all I can say to it, really. We've got some Goblin Blood Reavers over here now fighting against the Shipmen of Dale. So the Shipmen of Dale, worse than the Dalian swordsmen, but they are still a fairly good match to these evil units. Certainly Moria, I'd say they're a fairly good match. Also, they've got Javies, so that's really, really useful for like armor piercing and stuff like that. Hopefully they got some off before they go into combat. But shock infantry should do okay against these shipmen. They are taking a lot of fire, these Goblin Blood Reavers. Already lost 10 men. I think they're being focused down by Marksman of Dale, possibly. I think these ones, yeah, these Marksman of Dale here are focusing them down in the back. Yeah, they're starting to lose, actually. We have some Javies coming onto the wall as well for... I'm not quite sure what these guys... Goblin Spear Throwers, they're coming onto the wall to help against the Dalian defense here. But yes, this is a replay that I got off the Rise of Mordor Discord. They have like a channel where you can just like drop all of your Rise of Mordor like replays. So I'll leave a link to the Rise of Mordor Discord if you want to join to get involved in some of the stuff that they're doing on there. They do plenty of tournaments and competitions and things like that, and they obviously show off all of their new like stuff. They have like little sneak peeks, and you can see like the unit concepts and stuff like that. And it's another way to get notified about their streams if you want to watch their streams that they currently do at the moment. A lot showing off the new stuff that's coming in the new update, which is very, very going to be out very, very soon from what I've heard. But as you can see here, the Goblin Blood Reavers seem to be struggling on the walls here against these Dalian swords. I mean, and against the shipmen over on the other side, but that's mainly because of the archer support. But how long that will survive, obviously, that like the success with obviously like the archers will eventually run out of ammo, so then it'll have to just come down to like quality of infantry. So hopefully Dale's done enough damage by the time that they've run out of ammo. But as you can see here, the balance power is not in favor of the defenders. They have like 2,000 less men, and the balance power is not looking hot at all. But obviously, like the Dwarves have got really, really elite troops, so you have to take that into mind. And you can imagine that they're going to kill a lot of men. Though obviously Moria, I'd say, is one of the weaker factions probably in the game as well. So that is like, you've got to take that into mind. As you can see here on the walls, actually, you've got half orcs here. They're losing. Yeah, they're called half orc axes. Yeah, half orc axes. For some reason I was like, are they called half axes? Just had a brain fart. But they're fighting the Erebor axemen on the wall here. And I can imagine that the Erebor axemen warriors should do just fine here. Do love seeing the Dwarves of Erebor here, as you see like a few get beheaded here and there. Fighting along the wall over here, you can see the breach points now being fought over. Grim Hammers holding the line very nicely. We've got Urukai infantry in here. And we've got also Iron Guards as well. So we've got some really, really elite units in here. We've got the elite spear and the elite shock infantry. Well, they only have one shock infantry at the moment. So these guys should be able to hold the line for a very long time. You see that the Urukai are still trying to get in. They've got plenty of reserves at the moment. They've got pikes as well to still come up. They've still got things like berserkers, and they've still not brought their archers up. I'd certainly be thinking if I was Isengard, I'd be trying to get my, like, I'd be having another tower that landed over here to get archers on the wall, because obviously the defenders are pretty short on infantry. Already looks like goblins starting to break over on that far side. That's not a good sign for the attackers. But as you can see here now, though, the swords are starting to lose. These shipmen are losing as they fight these Goblin Blood Reavers now, and the Goblin Heavy Swords. So as you can see, once the archer support is over, it's very much easier for like the attackers to get an advantage. But the archers are starting to fire again ever so slightly, but they're still losing those shipment. But we are playing on Ethering, and Ethering is a very interesting map because obviously you've got lots of river crossings and stuff like this. So you can obviously, if you lose this half of the city, you can fall back and you can make the city into much more of a grindy contest, where you just, instead of fighting over lots and lots of areas and like choke points, you can just bring the battle down to 3 choke points, and then if you really wanted to, you could bring it down to 1 choke point here. As you can see, the civilians of Ethering just minding their own business. They don't realize that their city is under siege and is being attacked by the forces of Sauron. But yes, it could obviously come down to that. But at the moment, I feel like the defenders doing a good job. They're holding the line, done a lot of initial damage, broken a lot of stuff. It's going to take something very freakish to happen, I think, for them to be forced back. But we'll see. But yeah, this is a fairly long one, as you may have seen on the timer. We have like way over 40 minutes left. So I don't know if this is it's entirely continuous fighting, but it is mostly, I can imagine a lot of it is going to be mainly fighting. So I definitely recommend get yourself some snacks and get yourself some drinks and sit back and relax for some Lord of the Rings action. There's a shipment here. They're pretty depleted now, I think. Oh no, the other, like the half the units all the way back there, they're just minding their own business. Like, yeah, you guys go on and fight. We'll just watch from back here, you know, just in case no one else lands. Cowards. We have actually got some crossbows here, which are kind of trapped on the wall. You can see that the berserkers have dropped off the wall, and they're fighting the Grim Hammers, and they're actually beating the Grim Hammers. So there you go. I didn't actually know off the top of my head who would win that fight, but Grim Hammers losing to berserkers, and there's not really anything to like. They're literally fighting one-on-one. Berserkers, you could argue have a slight disadvantage because they are coming off a wall. Ooh, coming off a wall. And they also have the arch towers shooting at them. So Berserkers are much, much stronger than Grimhammers, it would seem. I mean, what's the size of the unit? 75, 60. So yeah, by just the size of the unit, Berserkers are going to be more elite, you'd imagine. And they'll fight to the last man, which Grimhammers don't necessarily do. I don't know whether that was just the initial charge from the Berserkers is why the Grimhammers are losing, but they are now back to even. Have to see. The crossbows are now in combat, which is a bit risky, I'd say. Just throwing them in. These guys are just going to get chopped down by these berserkers. I wouldn't want to be a crossbowman right now if I was these guys in this situation. They're just going to... Yeah, I think they're trying to get out of there. But they're trapped, really, because they can't like get out because there's also some Uruk-hai infantry fighting over here. And there's just berserkers here. So they might as well just stand there and just wait. I mean, if they stood here, then they could get a really nice angle into the back of the Uruk-hai infantry that's fighting over there. They could just fire from this like parapet here, fire straight across and into the backs of those guys. That would be a good angle. As you can see, the Grimhammer's actually nearly spent here already. And we have pikes in here for the for Isengard, but they're facing the wrong way. They're just getting killed slowly. So that's a real waste there by Isengard, as he's got berserkers in combat over here as well now. Isengard's just picking these guys apart. But yeah, they're all queuing up to get in there. Still, and those pikes just need to be pulled out, really, because they are not set up properly. I don't really like setting through pikes through a breach unless you've, like in this instance here, I mean, both the units are now losing, actually. Just keep that in mind. Or they were temporarily. Like, in this instance, like, pikes can't really set up properly in this, like, breach point. It's pretty hard. I mean, he's sort of sorting out now, but these guys are getting focused down. As you can see, the marksman of Dale here got a really nice angle. But yeah, I would want to, like, wait until, like, the units were, like, more... push back, like the dwarves are more pushed back, then get the pikes in so they're fully set up, and then you can just push them in. As you can see here, the marksmen of Dale, I think, are just focusing down into this mass of Uruks here. They are getting shot by the Uruk-hai archers, but they don't care. Uruk-hai archers are probably much more inferior to them, and also, like, who cares about shooting other archers? Shoot their infantry, that's what matters. You can see here that we've got a shipment on the wall here losing the Goblin Heavy Warriors. And they have opened up a breach here, has Moria. So this is another defense that has to be defended. And you can see that Moria is actually well inside the city. Dale has been forced back. So this is a worrying sign. At the moment, the Orcs, well, the Urks have lost about 1,000 men. And the allies like Dale and Erebor have lost about 400 between them. I'd say Dale's probably lost more, maybe. But these stripmen are now stuck on the wall here fighting these heavy goblin swords or warriors. They're going to have to just stand here and just deal with it. We've got Moria heavy archers coming in now. We've also got some warmongers, which is a better shock infantry than the blood reavers, I believe. They are like 101 in a unit, still a lot of men. Also got like onagers with plenty of ammo left. He brought 2 onagers. He brought, I presume it was like 1 artillery like per player, and he decided to bring all the artillery for his team while his teammate just brought those sappers, which technically aren't artillery. They're just like, well, they're just sappers. There's nothing much more to them. But yeah, these spear guard, these iron guards, sorry, are being surrounded right now, and they are getting chopped at those pikes, really beaten up. But they are starting to now affect the battlefield. These pikes are pushing back the iron guards and also pushing back the grim hammers. Those Dalian archers might want to think about getting out of there. Yeah, I can see that both sides are now starting to fall back. Not a considerable much, but you can like considerable amount. I mean, Dale's basically made a full retreat. I mean, most of Erebor's units, they've actually beaten those berserkers on the wall here, so that's interesting. So even though they like started off with like berserkers are better than grimhammers, possibly you could argue take that back. But then the grimhammers at the same, it'd be interesting to see. I'd have to do like a 1v1 on a pitch battle. Because obviously the Grim Hammers have the support of the towers, they've also had the support of the crossbows. Though they didn't really help much, I would have thought. But yeah, they have won that fight. So they can get those Grim Hammers out of there. The Dwarves don't have much left, though. They have like Iron Guards, some Grim Hammers. That's it. Everything else for them is engaged in combat up here. It isn't going to be able to get out easily. We have more shock over here. This looks like Berserkers and Half-Orcs, yeah, engaged here. Still fighting this Erebor Axe unit. Which shows how good they are at holding. Even against like superior units, these guys will hold to the last man. The Dwarves just don't give up. And I'm very excited to see all the new Dwarven units that are going to come with the new update. They look really, really nice. I'm very excited to see them in action and try them out. These guys now, Berserkers, winning decisively against these poor Iron Guards. I mean, luckily they've got everything else out of there. I don't think there is anything else that can be, like, salvaged. I mean, the Grim Hammers, yeah, will be the last thing that is salvaged. Everything else has got to just get back across these bridges. As you can see here, it seems that they want to hold these 2 bridges here with the Dalian swords, and they seem to want to hold this, look like they're going to hold this choke point, but they are just now falling everything back, thankfully. It's going to be a strange place to hold. They are going to fire some archers. Some arrows, not some. Don't fire archers. The marksman and Dale here, I think they're going to focus down those pikes, the heavy goblin pikes. Not sure if they work yet. I don't know if they sorted that issue out. Kind of look like they have, kind of look like they haven't. Like the pikes keep appearing and disappearing. Makes me feel like they still don't work. Which is, if that's the case, that's a shame because Moria does need like a pike unit to give it a chance, just be able to unlock some defenses. Needs a lot of stuff though, does Moria, and they are getting focused down. These goblin heavy pikes. Get them out of there. The goblin heavy warriors aren't bad, but they're not great. I'd rather have like Dalian swords or, well, just anything other than them really. But look at these guys. Look at their magnificent uniforms. They're holding the line. These boys are going to hold Ethring to the last man if they have to. I love the officer unit as well. He kind of reminds me a bit of like a Roman centurion in a way, with like his little tufted bit of like, I don't know what that is, like feather on top of his head. He's getting focused down. Look at that. He doesn't even care. He does not care. The man's just like, I've got to carry on waving my sword around. I don't care if I'm shot at by archers. He gets his shield up now. He's not a madman. He knows when he's got to protect himself. But yes, you can see the Dwarves and Dale getting the last of their troops across the wall, or across the bridges. They actually have got some cavalry here as well. I don't know what they plan to do with this, but they should have probably used this earlier. I would have used it when like Moria was coming off the walls, certainly. because that cavalry could have been very nasty and like just running down like shock infantry, all sorts. Like you could have had it in this area now. Like they're gonna get these swords out actually at Erebor. They're gonna get some Erebor swords out, or axes I should say. Well, he might. 52 men. They could be key. But yeah, so I mean, they are certain. Like that cav certainly right now could do a lot of damage to Moria. Maybe even like not finish off Moria, but like reduce him to nothing. Isengard is kind of like not reduced to nothing, but he's got everything on the wall. They've captured a gate. Oh, they captured this gate. That's actually very useful. I mean, they've captured the gate, but they've got like not many, but a couple of their own Blood Reavers killed there. So I mean, if Moria is going to carry on just like capturing stuff in like towers and letting them fall on his men, I would have thought they'd be fine with that. And they're actually falling back. They've let them across the bridge. You can see that they're going to just defend this one choke point. Well, like maybe this one as well. Hopefully they don't fall back any further, because I think they've still got plenty of troops to not have to worry about falling back to this yet. That is be very crowded. And also you got to remember that they might have wanted to hold this area here, I would have thought, because if you like just let them in here, they can now shoot like over your front line here and just shoot anything that's fighting here. And they also have artillery left, so you got to remember that. So really, they should be not giving as much ground up as possible, because if they just fall back straight away to this final spot, then that means that artillery only has to use all of its ammo at that one spot. Like if they held at that bridge, the artillery then may have been forced to use some ammo there, maybe even forced to use some ammo where they are now, and then some at the and they may have none for the final defense. And this final defense is so hard to like take. It's just one little choke point. This like bridge over the top kind of stops any archers from getting a good angle. So it's certainly a very, very good place to defend. As you can see here, the cavalry has actually been mobilized. Dale cavalry regiment is going out somewhere. Whether it's going to go for the swords and the archers, maybe. I'd be certainly thinking about it. The cavalry is like, by the second, is getting less and less opportunity to do stuff. It really needs to get moving, and actually, like, I feel like get some charges. Like even this sword here, I wouldn't even bother like protecting this corridor with the sword. I just put the cav here and let the cav just run down this road and maybe get some kills and all sorts. But they need to start thinking about certainly need to start thinking about getting some kills with that cav. As you can see, Dale is now in here, and I hate that we're in the shadows, because like Attila's dark enough as it is sometimes. But we're in the shadows. You see that we have Iron Guard and Dalian swords in here. Are those Iron Guard over there still holding? No, they are finally broken. The other swords on the wall though are still alive. Oh, I see what they did. So they sacrificed those crossbows and then brought out the axes, which have just about got back now. They are going to defend that bridge at like the maximum side. Dale is putting up a good fight here though against Moria. See the Iron Guard in behind though, they're getting ready. I can hear cavalry moving again. Is that, where's that? Oh no, it's not cavalry, it's the artillery I think I heard going by. Where is their cavalry? Where's Dale's cavalry? It is actually back there, it is in this street. Honestly, I don't think they should send this sword down. Just send this cavalry. This cavalry regiment could probably deal with these warmongers, or do a certain amount of damage to them. There's goblin spear throwers as well. Then just go after the archers. And then there's a bit of a gap between the next wave of Morian troops to come across. I mean, they might... Ah, I see. So if he engages here with his swordsman, like engage these guys here, then he can hammer an anvil, which is smart. Now he can just go around the back there, hammer an anvil. Really, really smart there play. Marksman of Dale, I'd certainly set them up maybe on the wall, and you could shoot onto like these troops fighting here. And as you can see, the Goblin Heavy Warriors, they're losing. Like I said, I prefer to have the Dalian swords. Dalian swords aren't great, but they'll beat Goblin Heavy Warriors. They just rely on numbers, the Goblins. Which is, I still think they should be a bit larger. I still think 150, well, like, I think it's like 180, 200. Oh, his charge, though. Really nice charge. As they interrupt my own commentary. So that's going to be, yeah, devastating. Look at the numbers, just skyrocket. Or not skyrocket. Drop. Sky drop. I don't know. They need to come out and just charge again. Just rear charge this this unit. Like, they're Gonna lose that ability of like charging, and also there's stuff coming across now. You can see Blood Reavers coming across. But yeah, I feel like the goblins could be like 250 like size units, maybe more. Like if you were playing with like the largest like Ultra or whatever is that the largest unit size is. Because like you see them in like Moria, and they are like there's thousands of them, and like they're not great, but there's just lots of them. It's the same at like in the Hobbit. There's like loads of goblins, but they're really bad at fighting. But there's just lots of them. That's how they like overwhelm like all these dwarven strongholds. There's just lots of them, and the dwarves don't like eventually get overwhelmed in a tidal wave. So I feel like that's something that they should possibly look into. I mean, like, I know the orcs have like lots of like large units. I think goblins should have even larger. Oh, a good hit here though from the artillery hitting into these iron guards. But yeah, this cavalry should have come out a long time ago. Should have come out as soon as it hit the infantry, really. And they're now rear charging these warmongers. They should help get rid of these guys. They're not. Oh, they are losing slightly now. They want to get this cav out of here again. Like the longer it stays in combat, the worse it is. It is spear cavalry, but still, like all cavalry gets better kills on the charge. Here we go. Gonna go for another charge now. I would like get out, turn around, just do another charge on these warmongers. They look like they are chasing. Here we go. They might get stopped by this. Yeah, they look like they've actually changed their mind because they see all this small like section of chasing them. Don't know what they're doing. There we go. That's a slightly better charge. I wouldn't have said that was like much better, but they should start to break these warmongers, I would have thought. But they are doing a lot of good damages here. You can see that the swords losing here. I mean, the Dalian swords have nearly been taken out with them, though. So, I mean, it's not a bad trade him, possibly. I know that there was like some archer fire and artillery in there as well, but that's nothing unusual. So, if you support your goblin heavy infantry, I guess you can trade. You might not necessarily win. Like, I think they're going to lose this fight, but this Dalian sword's basically out of the fight. They need to stop blowing up their archers and grimhammers here, though, because they're just getting shot by artillery. They cannot, with the numbers that they have, which is 1,200 to 2,400, which is close, they can't afford to allow things to blow up. They shouldn't really be sending these grimhammers in, because that'll be far too many dwarves in one spot. They are sending up more goblin heavy warriors now. Yeah, they're all breaking. All the goblins there just broke. Pikes and all, and they are actually beating these warmongers as well. They're gonna just wrap them up, kill them. Dale's done a very nice job there. He could do with maybe getting some archers, getting some marksmen and Dale, and trying to shoot the artillery. Like, could he not get these marksmen and Dale here to shoot possibly over for fire arrows and like kill or destroy the artillery? Might be worth an idea. What's going over on this side? The Uruk-hai have also started their assault over here. This tiny unit of Erebor axe warriors has got to hold the line against the Uruk-hai and the half-orc axes. Two heavily armored factions facing each other down here. That guy's armor clearly wasn't that thick though. Just getting stabbed in the chest by an axe. Quite sure how that happened. On the line there nicely. They're actually losing in this fight as well. So there you go. Erebor's going to win that fight by the looks of it. And they've also going to win over here by the looks of it are the Dalians. I mean, Dale should win over here. Yeah, these pikes clearly don't work. They do need to sort that out. I did mention it to the submod, but maybe they haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, these Morian pikes otherwise are just useless. Really, really are. I don't know whether you just didn't set them up, but I feel like You would have remembered. Since they are a pike unit. I think it's just still broken. It's just the issue. But they're winning over here, though, are these shock infantry for the goblins. Got some more warmongers here. They're beating these marksmen and dale. I don't know why they sent them in. I would have just held on. Had them mixed in with these iron guards would be a much better use for them, at least. They'd be a bit more protected. Right now, all they're doing is just helping get that kill count up for the goblins. To be fair, at the moment, they've been doing more of the attacking, you could argue. The Uruk-hai, like, having just arrived at that bridge. Goblins are certainly making the spearhead here. They're sending us a few Dalian swords to help support their archers, but I don't know if they're going to help. And the Iron Guards have now arrived. I think they are wanting to push them back. They're trying to keep this like V formation almost, or like not V formation, but like a defense here, because then their marksman Dale can shoot into the backs of the Moria warmongers here, and they can do the same from the other side. They've got some archers here that are shooting into the back of those pikes, which are losing. No surprise. I mean, they're losing to units that are numbering in 30s, and they number in the over 200, over 100 still. Look at that. The volleys coming in though, probably killing like 5, 6, 7 like goblins each volley, probably more. Actually, they're starting to win here. Look at that Iron Guards, a spear unit. This is one of the rare times I've seen a spear unit beat a shock infantry. Kind of shows how weak these units are. I mean, it also shows how strong the Iron Guards are. They are incredibly strong, and they need to be because they're very, very expensive. But these warmongers, like they are probably one of the weaker shock infantry in the game. They're getting just schooled by the Iron Guards here. And we've got some archers by the looks of it coming in now for the goblins. They're running out of ammo. They've got their artillery. I think the artillery is the biggest asset left. And to be honest, I think are they just trying to destroy the city? I don't think you can. We've got Iron Guard over here as well holding against the Uruks. They've actually forced their way across the bridge. I love the Centurion as well for like Centurion sort of look for the Isengard officer as well. That's also pretty cool. Do like that. Yes, over here you can see Grimhammers now being involved. This is a fresh unit Grimhammers, and they're winning quite nicely. I mean, shooting artillery is also, like shooting archers with artillery, I wouldn't say was the greatest achievement because, well, I mean, it might be, I guess, because the archers are possibly deciding some of these fights. Certainly this one over here, like how these archers here with 86 men are losing in combat to these Dalian swords, I have no idea. They should eventually still overwhelm them, I think, because just the numbers. Dale will eventually just start to waver with a lack of numbers. It's a thin red line. Who knows though? You never know. They might be able to hold. But they've got like another like Dalian sword ready there. And they've got the cav still here. I just chat like once they're broken through, I get the cav up ready, and I start to just like hammer an anvil possibly. But it is very, very close. I mean, it's 800 versus 1500. Most of the troops left are Isengard though, which is a bit of a worry. And Isengard has fresh pikes. So they need to save some ammo to Dale. I don't know if they have been. They've got their general, actually, which is a barding unit. That's very, very good. This barding needs to stay out of, like, sight, though. He needs to, like, go and start hiding behind buildings because he's getting shot by artillery. And that barding needs to basically dedicate all of its ammo to dealing with this pike unit because that's going to be an issue. We have an onager over here, which is Moria's. And we've got White-Hand Stormers. These guys are nasty. These are really, really elite. These are sort of the guys that I thought would go in first. They got the big shield, but they are technically the most elite swords, so why would you send them in first? But yeah, they look awesome. They really do. And you've got the general, which is also White-Hand Stormers back there. So they are going to have a lot of elite infantry and healthy infantry, Isengard, for this final assault. So does Dale, in fairness. I mean, Amori's not out of it yet. He's still, but he is looking a bit low on the ground. I think he's sending in his last sword now. And you can see Isengard is actually transferring troops across here, some weakened Uruk-hai infantry. So I think this is basically it for Moria. And he's done a lot of damage with his numbers. But in the end, the quality has overcome, as there's a floating dead soldier there for Dale. Let's go over here where it's a bit brighter, you can see what's going on. There's a few berserkers still in here. They'll fight to the last man, obviously. It's getting forced back by the Iron Guards in their chonky armor. Apparently they're getting even like heavier looking armor. It's going to make them even thicker. So, I mean, I can't wait to see that. I mean, these boys already look heavily armored. Like, look at their like their shoulder pads. They look just so thick. That'll take, if you got hit there on the shoulder, you're not feeling that. You just shake that off. One hit into here though, into this big blob of Iron Guards, would be pretty devastating. Like, they're just sending in weak unit. I mean, that's actually a healthy unit. Pull that unit back though of the Uruk-hai infantry. You just throw in the weak infantry to pin that in place. You're not going to lose much if you get hit. I mean, your berserkers are still a bit healthy. 19 men. Looks like Grim Hammers are possibly going to come up. That will certainly help turn this fight. I mean, it's already in favour of the Dwarves, I'd say, because these Iron Guards aren't dying anytime soon. They've lost 4 men. But if the Grim Hammers go in there, it's going to make it a bit... I feel like it's going to quickly turn it very much in favour of the Dwarves. They're going to, like, just massacre these weak Isengard units. And by weak, I mean numbers, not like quality. They are good units. These Uruk-hai infantry are good units. They're solid infantry, and berserkers are good. They've just got low numbers. They are breaking through here, though. I mean, everyone's apparently losing here, these Goblin heavy warriors, but they're just flying archers. So, I mean, it may have been a little bit early for the Grim Hammers to come away from that side. Though Dale's actually still got some swords here. You might want to send them in to hold this line. Because these archers aren't doing so hot. They have no shield and their enemy does. And you can see some of them are starting to run away. They're still getting shot in the back though, those goblins. They've just been persistently shot in the back. And that Dalian marksman actually has a lot of ammo. They need to remember to save ammo for that pike, which is now coming across. Uruk-hai pikes are now being mobilized. Still think it's a little bit early. There's a lot of blobbing going on here. If they had they need to start possibly thinking about using the bardings, maybe. Yeah, turn around the bardings. They need to start shooting these pikes. This is problem number 1. Because this is a healthy, heavily armoured pike unit. It's not like the other Morian pikes, which their pikes don't work, but also they have like little to no armour. The Uruk-hai pikes, heavily armoured, and their pikes very much work. You can see here. I love this formation though. It's like a column formation. So like so many of them have their pikes in the air. It looks awesome. It looks like the movies a bit. Really, really does. I am planning to do an Isengard unit overview, like sort of video soon. I have been planning to do another unit overview video, but I've just not got around to it really. And also that I've been told like the units that like some of the factions I was going to do, which I thought were complete, and now surprisingly getting some of them maybe getting some unit add-ons. So. I've been told to hold off from the dev team and doing them, which is kind of surprising. I honestly thought that like the likes of Gondor would have obviously been finished, but they plan to add a few more units. Which there you go. If you got this far in the video, you know that's happening. But I hope you guys have been enjoying it. I actually thought it wouldn't have been constant fighting, but it has been really. And it certainly is a fun one. I would have honestly thought there would have been like a break in the fighting point, but not really. Hardly was. Moria especially has been pushing on as soon as he's had the chance. If he's seen a Dwarven or a Dalian unit that's not in combat, he's sent something in to go in combat. And here comes the Cav. It's going to come down this hill and charge this infantry and the cavalry crew. So that's a really nice charge there. I honestly think this cavalry just like breaks these units quickly. And then goes into the rear. He needs to go into the rear of these units here. And then maybe into the general. Into anything, to be honest. Who's winning here? Is this Uruk-hai infantry? This is. And Dale's holding. They're going to break this. And they should just then carry on. Go into the general. And there's very little left on this side. And they are just going to push on, which it's not really a pull through. Like, the unit's like knocked over. It's not like a solid line. And they are actually going to rear charge the Uruk-hai. I would have charged these warmongers, like, just hit them. It's a much more dangerous target, like, because now he's able to like lock this cavalry in combat. So they are sending down the Dalian swords. So and the Cav's getting out. It's very depleted now. 13 men left. General's still in here. He's still, I think he may have slightly pulled through, but I think that's because he was still chasing the Cav. Grimhammer's now in there. This Dalian Sword's going to need support. We've got Wyand Stormers now coming across. They are certainly going to turn the battle in favour of the forces of evil here until, well, if the Grimhammer's getting combat, that will even it out. It could go either way, but it's such a mess in here. Look at this mess. Dalian Sword's kind of isolated, and there you go. Wyand Stormers going on into the Grimhammers now. Keep an eye on the bridge. The bridge seems to be doing okay. Iron Guards have only lost 10 men. So lost a few more since we've last been here. Not many more. I wonder whether the pikes will help shred the unit. Who knows? The tide of battle has turned against the Dwarves, apparently. I still think they've got a chance. There's still quite a bit of time left in this. It's 400 men against 1,000. All it's going to take is, I don't know, well, a general. I mean, when the artillery's a lot of ammo, that's going to be an issue. And they are going to have to get rid of these pikes, though. If they get rid of the pikes, they've got a chance. I mean, they look like they're going to win over here to the forces of good. Put it like that. The Dale Swords, though, may lose these Wyand Stormers. But honestly, the Marksmen of Dale and, like, Bardings, yeah, it's great that they're helping and supporting this fight, and they're going to probably win this area because of the Cav and the Archers. Probably mainly the Archers, because the Cav's dead, and it's just rear charged its own men. But they really, like I said, they really need Archers over here to deal with these Uruk-hai pikes. These Iron Guards have lost 3 more men since they've been here. They're also exhausted. They could have done with like a second wind or something like that. Enemy general is dead though, but there you go. So I think that's Moria's general dead. Yeah, reduced to 1 man. Jeez, and he's still fighting on. And also he's still firing. Still has a few shots left. Still trying to kill that like general. I think he's trying to general snipe that barding. Which I mean, to be honest, at this point, I mean, go for it. There's not much left to hit. Like the artillery's either got to shoot that or it's going to try and shoot these Iron Guard back here. Which I don't know why this one's not gone into combat yet. Replace its general. But they also were sending across more berserkers. I didn't realize they still had some. But Isengard doesn't want to give up this side. He doesn't want to like reduce his fight to just a 1 choke point fight, which is pretty smart by him. He's gonna like keep the battle open. He's gonna send more troops across here. We've got some Uruk-hai archers, we've got some Wyand Stormers, and we've got some berserkers here. He's also gonna keep these archers occupied on this side, which are nearly out of ammo, like literally on their last probably volley each. And they're getting just hit like constantly. These bardings. Like, they just need should have got these guys out of, like, range. Well, not out of range, but just out of sight so much earlier. Because the Bardings are good in combat as well. Because they really needed them over there for this pike. I've said it so many times, but it's just so imperative. The Cav's going to come here, though. Going to get a decent charge there on those Berserkers. That's a pretty good charge. Yeah, it's so imperative to that, to Defender's victory if they want to get those pikes out of the game. Because bar that, they could probably win because the rest of their infantry, probably like the Iron Guards especially, outclass most of this infantry.
The men have thrown down their weapons and are fleeing.
And if they could keep this Cav alive, that'd be great. A couple of like cavalrymen alive would be great. Cavalry has broken though, charged into those Berserkers. Berserkers just don't break, so that was gonna be a tough one to try and like kill. You'd have to kill every single Berserker. to like have a success there. But you can see the Bardings are now in combat, now fighting amongst the dead. There's been several like charges up this hill by the forces of evil, and every time they've been forced back by the forces of Dale and Erebor. I don't know about this time. This might be the third or fourth time lucky. It certainly seems like 55 men to hold this line, and they're not going to win it. They're okay in combat, Bardings, like they're really good, but they aren't going to be able to beat a fresh White Hand Stormer, especially when they've been bombarded by archers and artillery the entire game. So they're not exactly got the highest of HP. Kind of sad to see, because I do love the Bardings. Such a cool unit. They might win on the other side. Actually, no. Dale looks like he's going to break here as well. He's losing to the White Hand Stormers. They're just running out of stuff. These archers have run out of ammo. As soon as they run out of ammo, that was kind of it. Where does the other Iron Guard go? The other Iron Guard is now down here to try and steady the line. That might help, but it is just relying on the Iron Guard now. I think that might be enough. These Iron Guard might be enough now to steady this. Which shows like how like influential they are on the battlefield. It's the Berserker, they're just being stabbed in the back. The Iron Guard just don't mess around.
Our allies have fled, the cowards.
Allies have fled the cowards. Don't know what you're on about. Both sides are still here. I mean, though Dale is about to break entirely, his general is now wavering. He has encouraged. The Bardings have encouraged. He should really be popping his encourage. If he hasn't already. Very useful. But yeah, it is now down to the Iron Guards. And they are still a fair amount of time in this battle to go. I do not know how. But the Iron Guards are still like gonna like do their bit. They're actually winning in combat here. Look at that. Nuts. White Hand Stormers, though, they've got to find a way through sooner or later. I mean, to be honest, they just have to wait for their allies here, the other White Hand Stormers. They could just eventually just walk around and they could just surround these Iron Guard, which is the best way to kill them. Best way to kill Iron Guard to do that. I'm going to fast forward a bit because all it's going to be now is just Iron Guard holding. And even though Iron Guard are really, really good at killing stuff, even though they are a spear unit, and it's not that fun to watch. So we'll watch it in fast forward, I think, for a little bit. You can see the final few goblins going in. This must be the catapult crew. Little goblins and get their green look. They probably could do with dialing down that green, I think, a little bit. I don't know. They are quite green in the movies, but at the same time, it looks just a bit funny when you like watch on a battlefield, like these just green Martian-looking men a little bit. That guy there just got speared. I don't know if you saw that. He just got speared like as he ran in. It's impressive. They must be getting a lot of kills, these Iron Guard. We'll have a look at the end. But as you can see, they are surrounding them slowly. There's like one Berserker. I told you, these guys just don't break. They are Berserkers. It's like in any old game. They just don't break. They'll fight to the last man. So they have the potential to get lots of kills. You can see they are being surrounded now by archers, which is the main difference. The other pike unit over here is getting involved. 52 pikes. Still actually quite a lot. It's quite scary to worry about. It's going to be good when like the Dwarves do get halberdiers, because then they at least have something that can then... combat, because that's one of the issues I feel like the only problem with Dwarves. They don't have anything to combat in that department. Is a pike. I'm quite happy with them having like weak crossbows, which aren't necessarily the most effective in like no cav. But I feel like they should have pikes. They've got like excellent spears and stuff like that. So it's not out of the imagination that they'd have a really good pike unit. And it's thankfully we're getting one. From if you like look at the Rise of Mordor Discord, you see like all their stuff coming out. Also look at their Trello, check out their Trello. You can then see what's coming up, what factions they plan to do. There are still quite a few factions that they've not even started work on, but they have ideas for. Look at that though over there. You just don't want to come across that. The pikes just stabbing across the bridge. Nasty pieces of work of those lot. Yeah, we'll just fast forward again. As well, we just wait on these dwarves to die, really. I mean, what are they down to over here? Too many. 37. Yeah, they're not breaking anytime soon. These guys don't break till probably low teens, I was going to say. They'll probably break at like,
Enemy units have returned
I'm going to say
the
like
battle.
14, 15. I don't know. Depends if they get rear charged. They get rear charged by these White Hand Stormers. They might. But it looks like the general's going to get rear charged here. So we might put it back to normal speed just to see that. Let's see this one. See how many kills they can get here. As the White Hand Stormers come in. Not a single kill. Look at that. That's just how good they can deal with the rear charge when it comes to infantry. Guys are just nasty. Indestructible, basically. And even though these guys are getting surrounded, well, they were at one point getting surrounded, they're still holding as well. Just give up. You'd be better, actually, just going, like, with this infantry unit here, this White Hand Stormer, they would have been better just going and capture the point. It would have ended the battle a lot quicker, like, than trying to kill these guys. So they should have just done that. Because the Dwarves are just not going to die. They're not going to break.
Our men have given up and are running for their lives.
These nutters. I think they've already lost one of these units as well. Imagine if they had a third. Oh no, this one is routing now. And this is routing at much higher than I thought it would. 27. They did get rear charged. That is surprising. I would have thought it broke a lot lower than that. Usually do when we play with like larger units as well, they seem to break even lower than that. 27 is pretty high for them. I've seen them break a lot lower, like some as low as like 8 or 9 sometimes. It's nuts. But these Iron Guards, yeah, they're doing well. Shaken army losses though. Surely this force over here now just goes. I mean, they could actually send the pikes in. I mean, honestly, they should just get the infantry up and stuff and just go and just capture the place. I'm just gonna put it on very fast forward, and we'll just watch as this small unit gets depleted. It's still at 43. So if you, I mean, it's actually wavering, but that's be down to army losses. And but this one would have lasted another like 20 men being lost basically. And they could have still racked up kills. I mean, possibly racked up kills. It's hard at the moment. They're just getting surrounded by pikes. So there's not many units getting close in the Iron Guards to stab them. I mean, there's a few Berserkers and Catapult crew, but I imagine they're not racking up lots of kills like they were early on. But even still, they haven't like racked up loads. There's a fair amount of dead bodies in front of them. But there you go. A valiant defeat for the Dwarves. They have held on, but it was not quite enough. They did a really, really good job. I didn't see what numbers were at the end, but it can't have been many. I would have said it may have been like, there you go. It's about remaining. They had about, we'll say that's 700. About 850 men left. Did the attackers? So they were like the Dwarves had just over 2,000 men, reduced a 4,000 man army to less than 1,000. So they did really, really well. But yeah, this was Fingers McNippleton's replay. He was playing as the Dwarves. So yeah. Thank you for letting me use this, and his teammate was Alex, who was playing as Dale. We'll have a quick look at the Dwarven kills first. So like the general here, Iron Guards getting 128 kills, pretty damn nasty for them. They definitely could have got more potentially. This one only got 49 kills. It's a shame because you can see like they can get nearly on 200 kills, which is good for spears, and like they just soak up ammo so nicely as well, which is another good asset to them. Grimhammer's here getting 235 kills. 223, so some good kills there. His axes didn't do that great. A bit of a shame there. And his Erebor crossbow's just not worth it. Maybe better just bring another axe or something like that. But there you go. That is his kills there. Then we have Alex, who was playing as Dale. 175 kills with his Barding's pretty damn good. His Shipman 105. Dalian Swords 220, not too bad there. His Dalian Marksman getting 369 kills, insanely good. And then his Dale Cavalry Regiment, 242 kills. Some really good kills there for Dale. Really well done to him. And then we have Frank, I'm going to say that is, but it's with a 3 in the middle. Playing as Moria. His Heavy Warriors here getting 119 kills. Not bad for them. The other ones didn't do that great, but this one did very, very well, surprisingly. His Moria Warmongers here getting 89 kills. His Blood Reavers getting 78. So you can see the shock infantry is just not that great for Moria. It needs to be like, Moria just needs a buffing. It's just not good. They just have numbers. Like I said, they either need like to have huge units so their numbers are really like overwhelming, or they need like some buffing like to some of their shock or something like that. Their Moria heavy archers did okay, getting 106 kills, not bad, and his catapult's got like 80 kills between them. And then we have Simonos here, who's playing as Isengard. His general like no kills because he's still fresh. He has some so fresh units left. His infantry did okay. None getting into the hundreds. One got to 94, which is okay. His Wyand Stormers here got 199, which is pretty good for them. Expected as well because it's an elite sword infantry unit. His Berserkers did pretty well with 104 kills, and his Uruk-hai Pikes got a couple of kills, like 30 between them. His Wyand Sappers, no kills, but they blew up a hole in the wall, which is the most important part. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. I certainly did. It was certainly fun to see the Dwarves fight to the very last man, basically. And yeah, if you want to see more Rise of Mordor or more Lord of the Rings content, do remember to leave a like, subscribe if you're new around here, a comment to show your support, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when the next Rise of Mordor stuff is out. And until next time, Legionnaires, I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.